Well, YouTube, I've gotten myself in a situation. It seems enough Shongos are in demand that I ran out of them. And I usually have these laser cut by another company. They are, as of now, 500 man hours behind schedule. And I thought material would be here Tuesday. They didn't even have time to order material. So I went and picked up my own material. And I'm going to have to hand cut at least 4 of these Shongos. It's not my preferred way to do it. It's going to be a little more labor intensive for me. I'm still going to charge the same for them, but I was planning on shipping them tomorrow, 3 of them out tomorrow. Now they're going to have to wait till Monday or Tuesday. So I luckily kept, it's laying around here somewhere, I'll show you. I kept one of the laser cutouts from the last time. I'll use it as a stencil to trace a line, and then I'll just use my plasma cutter to hack them out, and I'll give it a little bit of headspace so I can grind it back to good metal. But not ideal. Hopefully I can order some enough in advance. I did not expect them to be this popular. I expected I'd have a bunch laser cut, they'd come, and then while I was forging other pieces for people, they would, I could grind while I'm waiting for the steel to heat up in the forge. That's usually what I do, but I kind of got balled up here because of, logistics, so to speak. Yeah, figured I'd show you how I haul sheet steel. This is $325 worth of steel. It's not cheap. And I don't have a forklift. So I went right to the steel supplier in Fargo, North Dakota, McNeil Steel, and I put some 4x4 stickers on top of my table, so they just set this on with the forks, and then strapped it down. And because half of this is torch table, I can just move my wooden blocks out of the way and start cutting on that corner back there. Here's the stencil I was talking about. It's just, nipped out of the skeleton from the last batch that was cut. Here's my traced ones. It's not as precise as the computer nest for the laser, but I think it's going to work just fine. I kind of goofed up on this one. He was going to interfere right here, so I squiggled it out. As long as I'm going to cut him first, so I don't forget what my change was there. But other than that, I'll set up and I'll just cut them out. As soon as one cools, it's got to go in the acid so I can have the mill scale dissolved. There's 4 of them cut by hand. Pretty good results. Not a terrible kerf on there. It would have been worse if I'd used the torch. The plasma cutter does do a better job. And I got enough of the marker left. I didn't burn the marker off. That's a good sign. So now I can grind back to the marker and be pretty confident that it's about the size of the rest. So yeah, there they are. The smoke from plasma cutting is cleared. This respirator does help, but after doing 4 of them, it was pretty thick in here. I think when I do a CNC table, I'm going to have a water table. It'll help keep that down, and it'll also reduce risk that I'm burning the good stuff out of the steel when I'm cutting the shape out. I've decided, instead, I was just going to throw this in the acid right away in the vinegar and dissolve everything off, but it dawned on me that this oxide coating is harder than the actual metal. That's with any steel. The oxide layer is harder. And what I'm gonna actually grind the profile first, because then I can use that to my advantage so that I don't put scratches in this when I lock it in the vise. That'll save some hand sanding and polishing later. I've about used the grinder as much as I can on the edges where I can get it. But there are areas where the grinder just don't want to fit right. You know, in here. It's too clunky. So to clean that up, I'm using a little bird tool on an air grinder just to kind of get in there and hog that out. There's another little section right down here. You know, just a little radius point. And then I'm going to clean it up, but like I said, with a flat disc, just to make sure that these surfaces here are all flat and nice and uniform. You see how it's all gouged. We're going to remove all that. A lot more labor intensive. I wish the laser could have cut them, but I think a CNC plasma cutter would do it pretty well. So if I didn't have such a short order on these, there's no way I'd do them this way. I'm kind of cramped for time. It was really bad. It seems to be working against me, but I want to get these orders out when I said I was going to. That to me is more important than the extra work. Okay, this one's finally got all the profile ground. I tried to do at least as good as laser cut, if not better, with the grinder. And then this one's still got all the globbies from the plasma cutter, which isn't near as bad as a torch. That's probably, I don't even want to think how long it took to make it look that nice. But this one here is ready for the vinegar.